Bass James Creswell has sung in Berlin, in Rome with the Teatro Real Madrid, the Bilbao Opera, here in this country with San Francisco, Los Angeles, and the Met. He made his Santa Fe Opera Company debut in The Marriage of Figaro, and he also sings Prince Gremin in Eugene Onegin. And James, thank you for joining me today.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
This is your Santa Fe Opera debut, but it wasn't supposed to be your Santa Fe Opera debut?
Well, originally I was going to be singing Prince Gremin and Ramphis in Aida, but they had to change the season around, so they asked me if I would play Antonio the Gardener. It's not one I've done before, but I sort of knew it by osmosis because I've been in many productions of The Marriage of Figaro, and it was easy to pick up.
Was there a performer, a company who you worked with when you were starting out who or that had the most influence on you?
Ooh, there have been so many. I've been really fortunate. My first voice teacher in Seattle, a guy named Bob Peterson. He's no longer with us. Bob was wonderful. Bob was one of the greatest voice teachers in the world. He was fantastic. Richard and Doris Cross at Yale, where I went to school. That was a wonderful program, and I got so much experience there. I could go on and on and on about influences and opportunities.
You say you're familiar with Mozart, so you've sung it before, but tell me about the experience of working here and working with the conductor Harry Bickett, who's somewhat of a specialist in Mozart.
Oh yeah, well, Harry's very well known for his work in Mozart. He's a super talented conductor. What can I say? I don't know if Harry remembers this. I'm sure he does. I sang with him for the first time about 20 years ago in Los Angeles in a production of Julius Caesar.
So Baroque opera.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Handel. Yeah, he was wonderful then too.
Does your interpretation change as you come to a company and work with the conductor and the milieu of the other artists around you? And if so, I mean, I'm sure it does, but how?
Oh, it changes greatly. Yeah, certainly musically, it can change with suggestions from the conductor and new ideas that you hadn't thought of before. The entire concept of the production can completely change how you approach a role. Yeah, absolutely.
This is your first time at the Santa Fe Opera, but you've sung outdoors before, right?
I have sung outdoors before. I'm trying to think. Wolf Trap Opera, which is sort of a young artist program, but the young artists do all the main stage roles, and that was 96 and 97. I sang there, and I actually sang the role of Figaro in 97 at Wolf Trap.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, yeah.
And aside from altitude, which is, considerable here in Santa Fe, what are some of the challenges and rewards of singing outdoors and singing here in this opera house?
Well, challenges, I suppose the only real challenge that goes beyond any opera production would just be how late we start. And but really that only figures in when we're doing evening performances or evening rehearsals and then coming back to rehearse something else in the morning. That can make you a little bit tired.
I'll bet. Yeah. Well, you are. You're coming out of Mozart and rehearsing a Russian romantic opera, Eugene Onegin. So, is that kind of is there a culture clash in styles? Is it hard to get? Do you have to work to get your head around one or the other?
Well, I suppose you do in a way. That's very common in opera that you have to do that. Many times you'll be performing two different roles at the same time. I like the challenge of it. I like to sort of find a way to not have one to have anything to do with the other, to make them completely different. And that's easy with these two.
And the productions stylistically are somewhat different, aren't they?
Oh, certainly. Yeah, absolutely. Um, they're both they're both gorgeous productions. Hats off to the designers and the directors. It's yeah, yeah, definitely worth seeing and hearing.
So, small but pivotal roles in both operas. Prince Gremin in Onegin, uh, who I guess appears as not as almost just a focus of jealousy, and Antonio, the gardener. I mean, how great to just come on and get a few laughs. But what do you do backstage to prepare to get ready to come on and sort of make everything out of the few moments you have?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just the things that you'd expect, really. Just go through your text, take a look at your music before you go on stage, especially if it's been a few days since you've done one of the roles, and just yeah, stretch out a little bit. Just put your body on notice that you're about to go on stage, and yeah, switch yourself on mentally. Really.
Does listening to the production from backstage or on the monitors help get you into it?
I think for most performers, hearing the overture with the Marriage of Figaro, it's such a wonderful overture, and it takes you back to all the different productions that you've been in before, where maybe you've been playing a different role and you've been in a different place. It's very evocative. Yeah, certainly puts you in the spirit of things.
James Creswell sings Antonio in The Marriage of Figaro and Prince Gremin in Eugene, Onegin this season at the Santa Fe Opera. Tickets are available for the main stage and the simulcasts in the parking lot at santafeopera.org. And James Creswell, thank you so much for taking the time to join me today.
Oh, thank you, Brent.